Hi guys, this is Saurabh and this is the second part of the pharynx. If you haven't watched the first part, go and watch first part first because that gonna help you to understand pharynx in a better way because I had covered almost all the difficult thing in the first part itself. So in this video we're gonna see the muscles of the pharynx and their clinicals. So we have six muscles. We have three circular and three longitudinal. For circular, we have three constrictor. The first one is the superior constrictor, second one is the middle constrictor, and third one is the inferior constrictor. For the longitudinal muscle, we have three muscle for this also. First one is the stylopharyngeus, second one is the palatopharyngeus, third one is the spalyngopharyngeus. As its name is the stylopharyngeus, so it's gonna originate from the styloid process, and as this name is the palatopharyngeus, so this is gonna originate from the palatine bone, and as this muscle is named as the spalyngopharyngeus, so there is nothing structure called spalyngo, so it originate from the lower part of the cartilage of the eustachian tube. Okay, so it will originate from the eustachian tube. This is your superior constrictor. This is your middle pharyngeal constrictor. This is your inferior constrictor. Guys, inferior constrictor has two part. Okay, the first one is the thyropharyngeus and the second one is the cricopharyngeus. Okay, so why we divide into these two part? Because this both muscle has a different nerve supply, so it has some clinical, so we'll see later. Now we're gonna see what are the structure that passing between the muscles, between the skull and the superior constrictor. We have something called the sinus of Morgani. Okay, sinus of Morgani. So the structure passing in the sinus of Morgani is, the first one is the auditory tube. So you can even see this is the auditory tube. The second one is the levator palati muscle, LPM. The third one is the ascending palatine artery. So let's see them one by one. So this is your levator palati muscle, this is your eustachian tube. Okay, and one artery that I'm going to draw. Actually this artery is somewhat like this, it will go inside to the superior constrictor. So this artery is the ascending palatine artery. So we had seen the structure that is passing through the sinus of Morgani. This is the sinus of Morgani, the space between the superior constrictor and the base of the skull. So now we're gonna see the structure that is passing between the superior constrictor and the middle constrictor. So the first structure that is passing between the superior constrictor and the middle constrictor is this stylopharyngeus muscle. Okay, so guys, I'll tell you one thing. We have three longitudinal muscle: the stylopharyngeus, palatopharyngeus, and spalyngopharyngeus. So among these three, the stylopharyngeus will be present between the superior constrictor and the middle constrictor, but rest two is present behind the superior constrictor. Okay, so we have two structure passing between the superior constrictor and the middle constrictor. The second structure is the glossopharyngeal nerve. So glossopharyngeal nerve will come like this and it will go like this. So this is a glossopharyngeal nerve. So we have two structure between the superior constrictor and the middle constrictor. The first one is the stylopharyngeal muscle, as you can see this one, and the second one is the glossopharyngeal nerve. So now let's look at the structure passing between the middle constrictor and the inferior constrictor. So here also we have two structure. The first one is the internal laryngeal nerves, and the second one is the superior laryngeal vessels. So let's see it. So guys, this is the vagus nerve. Okay, it will give a branch that is called as the superior laryngeal nerve. Okay, it will get divided into two part, that is the internal laryngeal nerve and the external laryngeal nerve. So between the middle constrictor and the inferior constrictor we have the internal laryngeal nerve. Okay, and we have an artery, that is the we have an artery that is called the superior laryngeal artery. It is a branch from the superior thyroid artery. So same course it have. This is your external carotid artery. Okay, it come like this. Okay, so this is your superior laryngeal artery. So these were the structure that is passing between the middle constrictor as well as the inferior constrictor. Now we're gonna see the structure passing between the inferior constrictor, that is the lower border of the inferior constrictor, and the oesophagus. So exactly, if I want to say at this point, so the first is the inferior laryngeal artery, and the second one is the recurrent laryngeal nerve. Okay, so these are the structure that is passing between the lower border of the inferior constrictor and the oesophagus. Okay, so now come to nerve supply. So guys, nerve supply is quite important. All the pharyngeal constrictor is supplied by the pharyngeal branch of the vagus nerve, except the inferior constrictor. Okay, and if you will go more precise, that the thyropharyngeal part. Okay, actually inferior constrictor has two part. uh, this is the thyropharyngeal part and this is the cricopharyngeal part. So this thyropharyngeal part is supplied by external laryngeal nerve, and this cricopharyngeal part is supplied by the recurrent laryngeal nerve. So guys, you are looking at these two fibers, these two muscle supplied by two different nerve. So now we're gonna see what is the function of this constrictor. So as this constrictor has oblique fibers, so when it will contract, what it will do, it will push the foot downwards. So all these constrictor help in the deglutination, but we have an exception, that is this uh, cricopharyngeal part of the inferior constrictor is a transverse muscle. So when the transverse muscle contracts, suppose this is transverse muscle, when it will contract, it will get shortened, and if it is getting shortened, it will close the oesophagus. Okay, so actually what happens, this muscle is closing the inlet and these muscle is pushing the foot downwards. So to foot get passed, what should happen, this muscle should get relaxed while deglutination, and this muscle should push the foot downwards. So when this muscle will relax, the inlet will open, and when this muscle is pushing the foot downwards, the foot will go downward. So as I told you, that this cricopharyngeus muscle is supplied by recurrent laryngeal nerve, and this thyropharyngeus muscle, okay, is supplied by external laryngeal nerve. Any cause, if there is a desynchronization between this external laryngeal nerve and the recurrent laryngeal nerve, so what gonna happen, the food will bulge like this. The mucus layer that is inside the pharynx wall, it will bulge like this, because we have a space between the thyropharyngeus and the cricopharyngeus, and this space is called the pharyngeal dimple, PD, or the chilidehiscence. So guys, you imagine that these two muscles are not stick together, we have a space there. So what's going to happen when we have a desynchronization between the recurrent laryngeal nerve and the external laryngeal nerve? So the inlet is closed, but the foot is pushing downwards. So what's going to happen, we will have a pouch here. Okay, we will have a pouch here. That pouch is formed by the mucus and the wall of the pharynx. So this pouch will get formed. Okay, this pouch will get bulged out between this space. So this pouch is called the pharyngeal pouch or the zincal diverticulum, and this pouch will be quite evident in the radiological image. So this was the clinicals. Now we're going to see the longitudinal muscle. So when we will remove the middle constrictor, we're going to see the stylopharyngeus, because stylopharyngeus is present between the superior constrictor and the middle constrictor. And when we will remove the superior constrictor, we're going to see this muscle, that is the sphallingopharyngeus, and as you can see, it is originating from the cartilage surrounding the eustachian tube. Now the third muscle is the palatopharyngeus. So all these muscle will go and insert into the thyroid cartilage. Palatopharyngeus originates from the palatine bone. The sphallingopharyngeus originates from the cartilage of the eustachian tube, and the stylopharyngeus originate from the styloid process. So all these muscles will go and insert into the thyroid cartilage. Now let's come to the nerve supply. The stylopharyngeus is supplied by the glossopharyngeal nerve, that is the ninth cranial nerve. Okay, the palatopharyngeus and the sphallingopharyngeus, these two is supplied by the cranial root of 11th cranial nerve by the pharyngeal plexus. Okay, the 11th cranial nerve will come and form the pharyngeal plexus. Through that pharyngeal plexus, these palatopharyngeus and the sphallingopharyngeus is supplied. So guys, that's all for today. If you have liked this video, do subscribe my channel, share this video to your friend, and don't forget to press the subscribe button. So guys, if you have liked this video, so guys, I hope you like this video, and if you really did, then don't hesitate to share this video, subscribe my channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon, because pressing the bell icon will give you the notification for the further video. So guys, thank you guys. Saurav signing out.